Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you a little dose of reality.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk Fins Talk. I'm your host, Steve Malloy, and we've got a special guest tonight. Everybody should know him by now. He's been around. Seems like he's been on a lot of podcasts here lately. We got Curtis from Ace Per Head. So we should have a great show tonight. We will have a good show. Not should.
Yes,
we
sir.
will have a good show tonight.
Yes, sir.
But I want to welcome everybody that's coming into the chat. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, wherever platform you're on right now watching this show, come over here to YouTube, join the community over here, hit that subscribe button. If you're new, share with your friends, your families, and your neighbors. So, Curtis,
there you go.
How you been,
Marketing
man?
master. I'm doing good. I'm hanging in there, Getting ready for the season. Trying some new stuff this year. Trying to stay healthy, man. You know the whole deal. Trying to deal with my kids.
All right, great.
Trying to prepare for an unknown Dolphins season.
Oh boy, you went there, huh?
What we got in the box? It's like Brad Pitt. What's in the box, man? What's the box? Come on, what's the box?
Exactly. But before we get started, before we actually get rolling and stuff, I want to make sure I make a disclaimer here. Okay. These are mostly all of our opinions. Okay. This is nothing in concrete and stone or anything like that, except for Curtis is a little more expertise than I am. He does a lot of these evaluations. He takes a deep dive into this Dolphins organization.
I hate being wrong. I'm German, man.
There you go. So that's why I have Curtis on here. Not only has he become a very good friend of mine, but also he's got some great takes, great content. If you've never been to his channel, Ace Per Head, you got to check it out. You really do. You got to check it out. Sweet. Try to get him to 10,000. He's trying to get to 10,000. He's
that's the big one.
There. It's almost there.
Yeah, I think I'm a 9,100 and something.
Oh, there you go.
So if I get to 10K, that means I'm definitely gonna be back next year. My sponsors will be happy. I'll be the star, So that's the number, great. 10K. Because they say that like the YouTube algorithms, they treat you differently based on how many subs you have. And 10K, 10. I don't know anything like about this stuff, but 10K is like the one where you're somebody, we're gonna like push your videos a little bit. We're not gonna hide you in the backdrop. So that's the number.
Well, that's
so when we get you to 10K, we got to get you to 10K.
Yeah, I know. I'm working hard, man. But a lot of people, they don't like to hear the truth, man. They just don't. They don't like the honesty, and hey, I'm not always right, and I'm not always wrong. But
none of us are.
A lot of people just want to hear the rosy talk about the Miami Dolphins. Well, until they actually do something, I'm just going to lay it on the line for y'all and tell you how I feel and the truth and what I'm seeing. Until they change my mind, I'm going to keep talking and keep talking the way I am.
I mean, that's the thing too. You got to remember, I mean, the reality is if you're trying to be accurate and you look at Miami Dolphins history, the odds-on favorite is that you're not going to get to this, beautiful spot of hopium. And it's not to say that we can't, but if you're really trying to be critical and you're really trying to evaluate fairly, holding your horses back and being, a doubting Thomas is likely better as far as presenting information. Because every year, I was that fan since 1978. And I wrote it for years. This is our year. This is our year. This is our year. And there was a guy who knew, he was like with the Dolphins in their early creation. I was living in Tampa and I was working at Pizza Paula. It was like 96. Yeah, 95, 96. What was the year that Shula had all the free agents? 96, I think it was.
I think it was 95.
95.
Don't quote me on that. I think
95. My head's been hit so many times. And I remember going up to him like, this is our year. We got Armstrong. We got, I can't remember now. We got all those guys. This is our year. He's like, no. I said, what? He's like, listen, when you've been doing it this long, you just know, and it really, I was like, whoa. And then I got back into it all the way up into the Ravens game, playoff games in 2008. And that's when I started saying, maybe I got to be a little more clinical, because for me, having a bad season is not good. But when I get my heart invested and I truly believe, and then they grab my special area and rip it down and rip my heart out along with it, it hurts more because I've invested so much in that side. So for me, presenting the information and then checking my heart, it's usually that, let me see. And it's fair, because we've had some stuff go on here that makes you want to believe that. But every year you got to be fair. Things can turn around. Even Chris Greer, who I don't like. I don't know if you don't know that. It's a hot news flash. I don't like Chris Greer. But Chris Greer can get it right. Anybody can. It's just the odds a bit lower. So you got to wait and see, play it out. I never get too crazy until about week 4, week 5. That's when I got a good feel. My antennas go up a little bit, but I can't really, until you see a regular season game, it's very hard. So here we are again. I don't think we're in the 12, 13, 14 Super Bowl range. But for what we've done, if we can get to 10 wins, second in division, postseason, then I'm like, this is the right crew. He's here 10 years, Greer. McDaniel's here 4. So let's see. Colts game's huge. Then you got the Pats at home, then the Bills, then the Jets. By then we'll have a real good evaluation. But it's a long shot. I think that's a fair way. It's a long shot, but it's not impossible.
Yeah.
So that's my whole diet.
It's not. No. And you articulated that perfectly. And I agree. I mean, as far as Chris Greer goes, I'm not a big Chris Greer fan. But I think he made some decent picks this year, in my opinion. I really do think this is one of his best drafts. Okay, got to give him kudos for
that. On
the
face of it,
yeah. But then a blind squirrel can find a nut every once in a while, right?
You got to string 3. Yeah, you got to string 3. You've got to have like one stellar draft, and then at least 2 good drafts to really build yourself a roster. Especially with where we're at, where some of these guys are older. They're not going to be here in 2 or 3 years. So, let's say Grant pans out and he's good, and Jonah's good. And then you get Ali, he's good. And then you get Phillips, he's good. And maybe Marshall's above average. That's a very good draft. But you're going to need at least 1 or 2 more.
Yeah,
so,
for sure. No, I agree. I agree.
So let's see how it plays out this season. And then if we do well enough, then you string next year. And hey, if you get 2 back-to-back, then that's where you could start riding a hopium a little bit more. Because right now we just cut Easy and Tyndall. So that was what, a 2023 draft? Or 23 draft? It's gone. So well, we got is good. Cameron Good, that's it.
Cam Smith.
Oh, that was 2024, right?
Was that 20? No, that was
no, they were 22.
Fangio.
Yeah.
When Fangio was
there. So they were 22, and then he's
22.
Cam Smith is 23. Yeah, 23.
But hey,
he's in his third year, right?
He's in his third year.
So yeah,
how long did they keep Iggy around? Remember Iggy?
Oh, Ignabony, 3 years.
Yeah, they kept him for
3
years.
They keep people too long. I think that's the big.
Do.
If you can see what the Philadelphia Eagles did, they cut Kenyon Green, who they spent a pick on, and they said, no, out, gone. And that's what you got to do. And Greer it's almost like he's a parent to the players he drafts, and he just sticks on them too long. There's something noble about that. It's not a totally bad thing, but it ends up being foolish. You've got to cut your losses, like the Eichenbergs and even Jackson, who some people like, but we've stuck on him way too long. He's been injured more than Tehran, and he's making a pretty penny. We just stay on the guys too long. It's okay. You make a mistake, cut it, and rectify it. But he doesn't seem to do that. So
he doesn't do
hopefully
that.
This year.
Yeah, hopefully this year. I mean, and you're talking about injuries. Cam Smith, that's been his downfall too, is injuries, and then work ethic. And the work ethic thing was developed in college. And it's gone on into the NFL as well.
They said about him, we're not going to hold your hand this year. You know how powerful a statement that is? And what did he do? He played like 10 snaps, I think, a preseason, or 15 or something like that. And he's been injured. They handheld him. It was just bloviation.
Yeah, exactly. They did just the opposite of what they said they were going to
Yeah.
do, and that's typical. But anyway, we got some good, and we got some bad, and we
Oh
got some
yeah.
ugly this year, right? But
Yeah.
let's start with the I want to start with training camp.
Mhm.
We'll start with training camp and specifically the joint practices. What was your take on the joint practices?
Well, look, for me, preseason joint practices, the scores and all that stuff is really not the value. It's the
Mhm.
tenor of the play. It's the individual players, how they matching up. And it just felt like we were a little soft because we were
Mhm.
going against, you'd hear in the joint practice, we go against the first string and we struggled. Then to come the game, they got the backups in. And, you saw a little bounce back against the Lions. The Lions didn't bring their starters.
Yeah.
And then we came back against the Jaguars. We kind of had some effect on the defense, up and down on offense. But then we struggled against their seconds on offense, not defense. And
Right.
so I am a little concerned. I mean, it's because it's not about the points, but when you're making mistakes, you're calling bad protections and you're not able to make certain kind of blocks and guys that you've banked on that flop, like say Farrow, Brown, it does concern you. Mostly though on offense. To me, Jordan Phillips is a guy that had me at hello because if look, speed and all that stuff, it's beautiful, but power, brutality, that sticks. And when I saw this guy put 365 up in a strict press twice, and he was a wrestler and a boxer, I was like, man, I like this guy. And if you really look at it, he's had the best preseason. And he looks like a real player for us. And that's a great find for the 5th round. And then Ali, I like Ali. I don't think he's going to be, LaDainian Tomlinson or Jordan, Peterson or something. Jordan Peterson, wrong guy.
Yeah.
But because of the
Adrian
speed.
Peterson.
Yeah, Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
But he is good, man. He's got special power. You could see. Look,
I agree
things
on that.
are certain ways. Guys are falling off him like fleas on a dog that just got sprayed by the spray to get them off. And that's a rare trait. He wants it. He's physical. He's got a great attitude. Jonah, I like some stuff for Jonah. I think he's struggling with his technique. Grant, I like, but he's young too. His pass rush is better than his run block. Got injured. But you got to expect Grant and Jonah to be something. And if you pair that with Ollie, you pair that with Phillips, that's a lot to be desired. But as a team unit, as a whole team, there's still some wackiness, man. How do you bring your first string unit out? Yeah, you don't got Hill, but you just struggle the way you do against second stringers. And then there's this whole thing of, we're not tough. And then you're talking about they were too nasty to us, the band. It's just, it's concerning. We need to beat the Colts. We need to beat the Pats. And I think that kind of glue could get things back on its feet and get it in the right direction. But it's a little tentative, and especially with some of these cuts that you got today. Not saying they were the wrong cuts. Farrell Brown sucked in preseason. But how did they not know that? Like, I heard people saying, oh, he's this and that. And I'm like, oh, I'm excited. Yeah, he's a big guy. He's a run blocker. And then I started looking at him, I'm like, well, I don't think he's as good as people are saying. And then you watch him in preseason, I'm like, man, this guy's no good. Like, how did they not evaluate that?
It's the same evaluation like you were talking about Jonah. Remember you had that video on your show Ace Per Head.
Yeah.
You did the evaluation of Jonah. You're like looking at his technique and it's just obvious stuff. It sticks out like a sore thumb.
I don't know how the coaching staff and it's not just me, like Greg Miney. He played college ball. He was a college coach. And I'm like, dude, I'm making this evaluation. Am I taking my crazy pills? He's like, no. When you're a lineman, your first step is like life. You got, an offense gets the initiative. That first step, everybody's first step is so critical. And he picks the foot up and he brings it back down in the same spot. And you could see that this guy's technique is all over the place and he's still able to do stuff. How do you get him to this stage without resolving that. Like even his stance is so wide, he can't even move. It's just like certain stuff. I don't know how they didn't resolve.
Yeah,
So,
but you know what, Curtis? Just not to interrupt you, but
no worries.
you know the thing that I noticed about Jonah this last game against the Jaguars, I was watching him, and I don't know. Maybe I'm hoping too much, or I want to see what's really not there. But it looked to me like he had adjusted for that wide stance, and his stance didn't look the evaluation that you were pointing out in your video. It looks like he might have tightened that up a bit. I don't know.
I'm going to go back and check. It looked relatively close, but now you're saying maybe he tightened it up a little bit.
Maybe.
Is the foot coming up and down at takeoff is still the same.
He's
okay. And that throws you off because so when you're coming out of your stance, you're in motion. And if that foot comes up and comes down, you start leading with your shoulders and you get over your skis. And that continued. He had a couple of nice plays, and you can see like he's got very good balance, and there is power there, but it's all undermined by this. But he's able to overcome it at times. And it's hard to say like, oh, well, if they're second stringers, would it be able to be overcome if he's going against first stringers and all pros and stuff like that? I don't know. But I can clearly see this guy's got a load of physical talent. But how did the staff go through a mini camp and mandatories and not have it resolved? It's beyond me. And even Greg Miney, like I said, he's like, this is coaching malpractice. Like, how do you not say, look, I mean, and you can go watch. You can watch Brewer. You can watch Daniels. You can watch Paul. You can even watch Borum. They all take that step, and you can see you're supposed to gain like 6-8 inches on that first step, but the foot comes up and stays down. So you've just wasted your initiative.
Right.
And so it's going to undermine us. And maybe it's just because they moved him to the other side.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
But if that's the case, then why you putting him in that non-conducive environment? What makes it so? I mean, I kind of understand because they don't want on to his blind side, but I don't know. You gotta have better.
Who else he gonna put there? That's the question, you know.
I don't know. When I see him pass block, it's not terrible. I mean, he'll lean at times, but I think that you had Eichenberg there last year, and he's better than Eichenberg. He's got way more physical tools, even with his mistakes. So for me, it didn't seem like I said. Move him to the left side if he's your best run blocker, because then you pair him with Paul. And I was hoping that Farrell Brown would be there, and then you got a power side, but he's not really that. He thrived a lot this week because we didn't really run too much inside zone. We had a lot of gaps, a lot of outside. We didn't run that much, but there was a few plays where he did some stuff. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't right. Inside zone drive blocking. And so some of the stuff you saw with his struggles against the Bears was that. But, this kid is good enough to play on that right side. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it's the same on both sides. But then why wasn't it taken care of? And I'm desperate to go back to his college film when he played guard to see, because he was a right guard. I got to go back and check to see, is that the same stuff?
Well, you remember at the beginning of the year where he was talking about something. He was saying about he's got to get used to coming off that right foot. Yep. Remember that? And that's when we determined that, maybe he's going to be left guard.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe that's a new position for him, and he's adjusting. And also another point that I think you and Greg made as well was he might be adjusting to the speed of the game, and that's throwing him his technique off and stuff. I don't know, but I agree. I mean, it's crazy that you're going to draft a kid, you're going to move up to draft him in the second round, and he's got all these
put him in the most conducive environment for him. That's what we did with Jackson. Remember Jackson? Did we put him at guard? We did that with Tunsil. He was attacking with guard. And then Eichenberg was right back and left. Yeah. So I will say,
did it with all of them. So,
the kid, but the bottom line is the kid has physical talent. He's a good kid. But this stuff has got to get, and it will. I think it will get resolved. But at what point will it cost McDaniel the season? What's the so I don't know.
That's the $1 million question right there.
Yep.
So what do you think of Paul? I mean, personally, I think he's surprised me. Even though we've been playing against the second and third teamers, as you said, the majority of the time, he's still impressed me enough where I can see that he's polished his game up. He's really worked on his technique. You can tell through the offseason, just the way that he's performing on the field.
Yep.
Do you get that feeling as well, or do you see that?
Look, he's got long arms. He's extremely powerful, well-built. He's very smart. He's pretty aggressive. You've got everything there. And when I watched the film, I don't really see – the only weakness I see is he has a tendency to hedge his bet inside. And so when he does his kick, he's kind of always leaning inside because he's afraid of the out and in or the in and out. And he's really afraid mostly of the in. And there was one play this week where that's what happened. Yep. But some of that though was because Jonah slid so much to the inside to help out Brewer, and he probably could feel that space. You could feel that space, and he was just like, So I don't know. That was his only bad play though. It was his only bad rep, bad rep.
Right.
He might have had things he could have done better, but that was the only bad rep I saw all preseason. I think he's definitely a keeper. He's if you're talking about your standard right-handed quarterback, he's at least going to be that right tackle, that run blocking tackle. And he has the potential eventually to be that left tackle with the right-handed quarterback that blocks on his own. He could do it all. There's a potential there. But he's easily going to be the right tackle for the next 10 years, unless we don't sign him. Unless he earns the right to free agent.
You mean left tackle?
Well, I'm saying at least a run blocking tackle, because we don't know if Tua's going to be here or whatever. He at the very least, he's going to be the run blocking tackle.
Gotcha.
It's going to be 10 years. He could be the guy that whatever side and the handed quarterback you have that's going to pass block for you and use your lead tackle. He could be that. But at the very least, he's going to be with us for the next 10 years as that right tackle, that run blocking tackle. And then you get the more athletic guy to do the pass block. So for me, I don't know how good he'll be, at least above average. You can't be that big with that kind of move and not be above average. So I love the kid. I think it was a great pick.
Yeah, I do too. And kudos to Greer on that, right? So, and he's a Texas kid too. So hey,
not preferential at all, are you?
And so is A-Chan for that matter, and yours. So got some Texas kids there. But I mean, I live in Texas now. I'm raised in Florida, but in Miami, but I live in Texas now. So I gotta stand behind my college players there. But anyway,
I'm imitating Steve. I'm getting enough white here, man.
Well, I shaved it off.
I as much as you, Steve, by growing out.
Yeah, I shaved it off. I had that beard, remember? And I shaved it off.
Get a picture.
Yeah. So now I'm going to. I think I'm gonna let it out again. My grandkids love it, so I don't know why, but they maybe I remind them of Santa Claus. I don't know. but anyway.
Yeah, my kids are the opposite. They can't stand it.
Really?
Lazy. Yeah, I got lazy. I got lazy.
Gotcha.
You know what it is? It's like shaving your face is like an exercise in futility. It's like you're going to
shaving.
do it only to return tomorrow to do the same thing over again. It's just like, so I get lazy.
I hate it. I hate shaving. But anyway, so we're set with Patrick Paul. I think Patrick Paul is going to be solid on the left side there at tackle.
Yeah. You can book him.
Yeah. And now Jonah is still in question, right? We got to see how it plays out in the regular season.
Yeah.
And you said the key, right? We got to see not the first game, second game, but 7th or 8th game. Then we're going to really see where the Miami Dolphins, where they're going to position themselves in the run for
by that Chargers or Panthers game, we'll be fully aware of what we got.
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm with you on that. I'm the same way. I know I make projections at the beginning of the year as far as what I think the record is going to be and stuff like that, and I've been accurate pretty good for the last 3 years,
Oh,
unfortunately.
nice.
Well, not unfortunately, but I mean,
Yeah.
last year was unfortunate, but the year prior to that, it was, we had an opportunity to do bigger and better things in the year prior to that too. So Jonah, like I said, we have that question on. I think Brewers is Brewer. We know what he is.
Yeah.
I
And
think
he had a really beautiful rep this week.
Yeah.
And anybody who watches, if anybody watches film, go back and watch the game, and you'll see Daniels and Borum. They have a tendency to drift and turn their shoulders away from the line of scrimmage and chase. And it was one where they brought a double blitz. No, they had a twist inside and then a blitz, I believe. And Brewer just held his ground, one hand on like 92 and one on the other guy. And he was holding them both because he kept his hips forward, his eyes forward, and he was navigating it just for a few microseconds. So Ollie could get behind and make that play. So I was very impressed with that. I still think he lacks driving power, but to me, that was a very, very, very impressive rep. That was, to me, one of the most impressive reps I've seen of his.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Success, thanks for joining the channel, brother. Appreciate you.
Man, Cody.
And Cap for Life, I know he joined there shortly. He came into the chat. I appreciate you, brother. The Cap Report. And some other folks that I've seen that were in here, I appreciate you for joining. Make sure that you hit that like button. Please hit that like button. If you're new, hit that bell down there and then share with your friends, your families, and your neighbors. So I think we're set as far as Paul and hey, I mean, we got to be set on that left side because Jonah's not going nowhere.
No.
He's gonna be our starter. So hopefully he can develop and they can fix those technique issues.
He's a great kid too, and he's got all the physical talent. Yeah,
for sure. He does. He really does. And then Daniels, you just mentioned Daniels.
He's not bad. He's way better than Eichenberg. And he's
Robert
way
Jones.
More versatile. We are way more versatile than Robert. Robert Jones is really good at digging guys out in zone, though. But he sucked at everything else.
He did. He had good power. You're right.
Really good power.
Yeah. So
powerful dude. But he had knock knees, so he had no mobility.
That was his drawback. But as far as Daniels goes, I mean, I think he's trying to work himself back, get the kinks and the rust out, from that Achilles injury that he had. So hopefully, he can stay healthy. And then we got Jackson. We all know how your feelings about Jackson. And I do too. I don't know why everybody's so high on Jackson, but
it was a media push a couple of years ago. I'm sorry, Austin Jackson. They would look at like PFF or something like that, but they weren't taking into account that you're throwing 204 or was it 204, and you had 15% screens and you ran OZ all day, and that stuff really, it's like steroids. It uplifts what you're doing. If I put most guys that are in the league that are playing, throwing 2-3-5, 2-4, and they're expected to do inside outside zone, if they put them on this offense, they would look pretty good too. You 2-0-4, it takes almost 2 seconds just to get to a guy, even the best case scenario, unless it's like, the floodgates open. So
exactly.
There's a lot of mitigation, and we don't do any, we had the lowest true pass sets in the league. So that means you weren't using plays or scheme or play calls or extra help. So these guys were constantly protected some way, and that lifts up what they're doing. That's how you got Eichenberg to survive.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And I've always said that. I said Miami, now with the exception of the run game, right? The inside zone primarily, the pass protection for Tua hasn't been bad at all. It's been very good. And that's the reason, as you just presented, is because he gets that ball off in 2.0 seconds.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard it's pretty hard for, a big defensive tackle or whatever, even an edge rusher to get in there in less than, 2 seconds. So what they're they're perfect for the job that they're being asked to do, right? As far as pass blocking goes, I have no qualms about that. I think our first team will be fine as far as pass protection goes. Now, the running game, that's going to be the question mark that I put up there, is that run game. Can we get that inside run game going? And you mentioned we got Ollie Gordon. I like Ollie Gordon. He's a powerful guy. Whether he's playing against the second or third team, it doesn't matter. He's still playing against some big guys out there, big, fast guys, and NFL guys, players. So, you can see that he's got that power and that physicality. And
he overwhelms guys with power, that was the impressive thing to me. It wasn't like, I'm scraping by. He was shaking guys off and really doing some real work. I mean, even if they're, I'm sorry.
Well, the guy, no, you're good. The guy said that if somebody's in front of him, it's either him or them, and he says it's going to be me. I like that attitude. He has he has that violent attitude in him. Just like Jordan Phillips. They're both violent. They love the violence, and that's what this game is all about. Whether we believe it or not, that's what this game is all about. It's pure violence.
Yep. And that's I mean, you're out to break the other guy. You're out to break the other team mentally, physically. The injuries. You're getting injury reports on what's hurting on them. And you're thinking about that. That's
absolutely. That's the way it is, man. But so I like Ollie Gordon, and and going back to Jackson, I kind of drifted off there. But Jackson's hurt again. So
twice this offseason. Twice coming off an injury from last year.
Yeah, exactly. And, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but I don't believe a doggone thing this organization, Mike McDaniel, any of them say about these injuries.
They lie. All teams lie, but they're like aficionados, man. They're professionals.
I think they've made it a habit, man. I mean, it's like now they're like pathological liars, they believe their own lies, but anyway, we'll see if he comes back the first game of the season. I mean, so far so good. He hasn't been put on IR or anything like that, but then again, that could change. Tomorrow morning we might get, he kind of
slipped on a bar of soap in the shower.
Something like that, right? But
I remember Tunsil. Remember when Tunsil got that injury?
Yeah.
That was crazy.
He might have had a little bit too much weed the night before. But anyway, What do you think about our tight end room? What do you think about that? How are you feeling? Are you comfortable with who we have? We have, as you say, Tanner, Connor, Tanner, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know which we got. Well, really, if you think about it, we've got 3 tight ends, but we really got 4. We got Tanakana and
Connor Tanner.
Along with Julian Hill and Waller.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Waller's 32. I think he can do work. I do. But that threshold where he has to get more reps than he needs, if say Hill gets dinged or Tanakana gets dinged, then you start pushing the envelope. We got good pass catchers. Waller's a little uncertain because, he hasn't played really yet and he's older. Julian Hill is mercurial. Sometimes he looks really good. He's got great physical skills, but he loses sight of stuff and sometimes his technique's off. When it's on, it looks good, but I don't understand how you can rely on this tight end group. Given I talk a lot about the inside run because that's where the leverage is going to change. And this group does not, maybe they pick a guy up in free agency. I just don't know who they're going to find. I was surprised they cut Rucci.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about that.
I'm not saying I'm surprised because he was so good, but
right.
We
need blockers.
We've got Waddle, we've got Hill, we've got the 2 Washingtons, we got Westbrook, we got Eskridge, we got Achane. How many more pass catches do you need? Like, we need some big bodies, I'm not saying he's the best blocker, but
that's McDaniel's bread and butter right there.
They're saying basically they're riding a lot on their evaluation of Julian Hill. If he pans out, and he could be that physical force who can catch a little bit, then they're going to look pretty bright because it's going to uplift a lot of this stuff. But if he's like Julian Hill from last year, or if he gets dinged, I don't know, man, because you're not going to be able to throw your way to the season. I mean, I like some of the stuff that McDaniel did. I love that where he pulled Daniels and he pulled Tanner. It was a nice play, and the motions, the gaps, but that's like a lot of window dressing, and it works. But it works best when you catch the guys when they're unawares. But if that's all you got to bring to the table and they're focusing on that, eventually you get put in a phone booth. And if you can't fight your way out of a phone booth, there's no smoke and mirrors in the phone booth. There's mano a mano inside the pit. And so, maybe they're just, I don't know. They're supposed to be professionals, and they're supposed to have the plan. I feel good about the defense pretty much. I like Russell Douglas addition. I think that's a lot of veteran. He'll get burned deep in man, or if you put him in like cover 3 high, he'll get burnt if the guy's fast enough because he doesn't have the extra gear. But a lot of the stuff that you saw us doing, he can do, and he's a good addition.
Yeah, he's a good veteran presence.
Yeah, but they said that Hilton too was a talent, and he couldn't figure it out and couldn't make do. True. So we've got to see where Russell Douglas goes. But obviously he's a good addition because you got Bonner, he's on the down. You got Sheffield, he's kind of on a down. So you got Duck, you got Jack Jones.
Wait, didn't they cut Sheffield, or did they keep him?
Did they?
Wait a minute. I don't know. Let me see.
I was out half the day.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I did my all 22 film, and then I had to take a drive to let the brain.
Let me see. I'm gonna go on the old trusty website here.
And they got Marshall. But I'm not as high on Marshall as some people. Man, but I'm not saying I didn't study him enough, but I just saw a few plays where I was like, he's just a little too loose in the coverage.
Yeah. They cut Sheffield.
Oh, they did.
Yeah. So
Russell Douglas took his place. So it's Marshall, Duck, and Jack Jones, and who else? Bonner.
Well, I'll go over it right now. Well, Bonner, I don't think he's not even listed on here. To be honest with you, I don't know if they cut him or they put him on a pub or something or IR. I don't know. You got defensive backs. You got Iffy, right? Malafanu.
Oh, I forgot about Cam Smith.
Yes, we got.
But Iffy's more of a safety though, but they can kind of hybrid roll him. Oh, we got Cam Smith. Oh, you got Iffy. Bonner's headed to IR.
Oh, there you go. You got Iffy. You got Ashton Davis. You got Elijah Campbell. You got Dante Trader, who has been hurt. You got, like you said, what's his name? Jackson. His name Jackson.
Jones. Jack Jones.
Jack Jones. Then you have Mika. You have Marshall. You have Colbert. And we have Duck and Isaiah Johnson. Those are your.
Cap was saying they put Sanders on the IR, so he's gonna miss the first 4 games.
Oh wow, they put Sanders on there too.
Yeah, I thought they would.
Jason Sanders. Sanders. See, that's another thing. You said Sanders. You said Sanders. Okay. No, I was thinking of the other Sanders.
Cody likes Isaiah Johnson.
Yeah, I did too. I think he was with us last year as well.
Yeah.
But that's another thing. Here's Mike McDaniel talking about, oh well, Jason Sanders, it's not a big issue. He's blah 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 blah. And then what happens? Then he says he's getting some tests done and all this kind of crap. Now he's on IR. So you just never know with these people, man. But anyway.
No, everything that's why it's so funny. I understood year 1, maybe year 2, but by now we know that Greer always lies. Greer will never tell you the truth. And McDaniel just says all kind of, bloviations. You can never trust what he's saying. Not that he's a liar. All these coaches are lying. They're not there. But instead of just saying, hey, we'll see, he does his whole thing and it makes him look stupid, I think,
No, I'm with you 100%. Instead of answering the question, like giving people like hope, they are, maybe not. We don't know, but it's a possibility. Yeah. No, just tell us we don't know. That's it. We don't know. He's got to get tested.
We'll see.
That's all that we'll see. That's all you got to do.
He just got to learn to talk less.
Talk less. Exactly. But anyway, that's going to be kind of hard for him to do. I don't see that happening. But
he likes the Woody Allen persona.
Yeah, he does. He eats that up. But
that's his shtick.
So we talked about the tight ends. I'm not real comfortable with the tight end group unless Waller can get up to speed real quick and he can be half of what he was in 2000 was it 22?
Well, Tana's been injured almost every year too.
He's been injured too. There you go. So I don't get it. Wide receiver group. Look, we already know who the who the main target's going to be. It's going to be Waddle and it's going to be Hill and Malik. If he may be lucky to catch 25 to 30 passes, right? And then Taj, he may not even play. And then you got who's the other one? Eskridge is more of
Westbrook. Westbrook. If you go back, you watch Westbrook made a nice block, dude. He put his shoulder in the end and had to hand him off, pass him off to Paul. I was so impressed with that block. He better get more reps.
Yeah, he needs to get. If anybody, he needs to get more reps. Not because of his blocking ability primarily. If we're going to run the ball more, which I don't think, I think we're going to be more of the 60-40, 60 pass 40. I'm afraid, unless McDaniel wakes up and we get a good inside game going. He says, "Oh man, I'm being successful here. Maybe I ought to keep doing this." Maybe. But other than that, past history says it's going to be 60-40. I know folks are counting on that. Maybe 55, 45 or whatever, or whatever,
that would be sweet.
That would be great. And if you look at the league, most of the league are 60-40, right? I mean, it's
moving. I think I got to check, but it definitely is moved.
Is it moving?
To more run. I don't quote me on it. I'm just saying by my gut, because if you look like the Bills, man, they're like 47-53 or something like that.
Oh, okay. So maybe it is moving. Maybe I'm off.
I don't know. Okay. Don't quote me. I'm just saying it's my gut. That's not real information.
Right.
So
right.
But it feels that way because you're seeing a move to a lot. Like look at the Chargers.
Maybe it feels that way. Maybe it feels that way because a lot of
Baltimore Steelers.
Yeah. Well, maybe it feels that way because you got guys like Derrick Henry, getting 15, 16 carries, 20 carries. It's just one guy. He's not a committee, same with Saquon Barkley. He's getting over 300 carries a game. Those guys can do it,
Oh yeah.
Is McDaniel going to use, Ollie Gordon like that? I don't think so.
No, and we got Wright's going to be missing a game or two, I think, too. So we got chance. Hopefully he's better, but he's going to still not be. I don't think he'll be 100%. I mean, he'll probably play at 100%, but there's probably some still swelling and stuff that are going to go on. We need another running back because
we don't know how severe it is, man. We don't know if it's a grade 1, 2, or 3 or whatever. Again, they're not going to tell us, right? We won't know until game day, probably. On when the injury.
Yeah, I think he'll play, but he's had so many soft tissue injuries.
Yeah, and they keep occurring.
Yeah, he's got to be more in the Hill type role. Let him carry the football outside, maybe occasionally inside. Get him in the pass game more. He should be replacing Hill next year. But you don't want the guy's a thoroughbred. He's a Porsche. You don't want to turn him into a slot, crash up derby. So
yeah. I think he will be utilized in the pass game. See, this is another thing. We got all these receivers, as you mentioned, Curtis. And everybody's saying, "Oh, Malik Wilson, he's a dog," and all this. And how many passes is Tua going to throw this year? 700, 800?
I know.
Come on. If you go back in history, even well, I know he's been injured, 4 or 5 times, 4 or 5 games a year, but he's still throwing 500 maybe.
Yeah, it's around 500,
500, 540, something like that. Even if he stays healthy 17 games, he didn't throw over. I think he didn't throw even close to 600. I don't think, even when he was healthy in 23.
But you figure Hill's going to get like 110.
Probably more. Before last year, he was averaging 170 targets.
Yeah, I think they're going to tone it down.
They're going to have to.
I think Waddle's just really underused. Malik Washington. I think that, no matter what happens, they're going to try to move off Hill. And you want to give him enough to make him look good, but you don't want him to get injured. And you got to start developing these other guys. And you spent, a great contract for Waddle, but 2 firsts. You got Malik Washington going to second year. You got Taj in the background. You got HN. HN had what, 70, 80 catches? I don't know how many targets he had.
Like
100.
I don't know, but it was. I know he had over 70 something catches for sure, and they're probably going to do that again. Well,
Yeah,
maybe they'll tone it.
Maybe.
They should, but maybe they'll tone it down with him because you got Tyreek Hill saying he's going to get over 2,000 yards. I mean,
he's saying it again.
He's saying it again. Oh, God, he's saying it again.
I can't wait to get rid of this guy.
I can't either. I really can't. But yeah, he does. He's just immature. He's just immature.
He's a narcissist.
He's a narcissist and he's immature. He's just never grown up. He still acts like he's 17 or something.
Yeah.
But
so
crazy. I was gonna say something, but I don't want to get into that.
Don't get into it.
Yeah,
I don't know what it was. Let's keep it happy.
Yeah, let's keep it happy, man. Let's try to keep it positive, man. But yeah. So I had questions going in this year with the defense. Okay. But I don't have a lot of questions anymore about the defense, primarily because of the way that they've been playing and the way that Weaver's been moving the pieces, utilizing his pieces. And I'm not saying that the defensive backfield is better than what we expected. I'm just going to say that Weaver is disguising it and he's utilizing them to their best. They're utilizing their best talents or abilities.
But he's also, this year he's going to have Chubb and Phillips, Chop. He's got Phillips, Jordan Phillips, Grant,
Judon.
Yeah,
Judon.
Yeah, Judon too. Oh, yeah. I was like, right, is that his
Judon.
name? Yeah, Judon's another piece. I almost forgot about that. That's a nice little piece. And you got Sealer. And to me, Dotson and Brooks and Gay. I'm not so big on Britt, but he's not a bad back end piece. But this is an upgrade for that front seven.
Yeah, and I saw
and
something
Minka.
where, and Minka, right? He's going to be the general back there. But I read something. I don't know where I read it at. I read a piece about Willie Gay, that they're going to utilize him sometimes as an edge rusher as well. So he might be.
How many edge rushers? Where are they going to find spots back?
I don't know.
I guess sometimes they could put Phillips or Chubb inside. You could probably run, a nickel on 3rd and 10 and probably put Chubb inside or something like that. Or Phillips used to blitz from the interior and do a really good job. So, and you can do stunts and things like that. But
and Weaver's going to do that.
Yeah. I like Weaver.
I do too.
I think he's.
That's why I have confidence, confidence in the defense than they do on the offense. I really do. So we'll see, man. We'll see, Curtis. But Curtis, I'm gonna call it a night. I'm over here in Richmond, Virginia. I'm visiting my grandkids. I got 3 grandkids here.
Sweet.
And my daughter and my son-in-law. We're having a great time here. So. And they're getting ready to go to bed now, so I got to be a little quiet. But anyway,
no worries.
I do appreciate you for joining the show tonight.
Anytime.
Once again. And again, I'd love to have you on throughout the year to get
100%.
your evaluations and your takes.
Whatever it's worth.
Yeah, we got to get you and Greg on here too.
Oh yeah,
when you guys,
I'm working with Greg this week. We're going to be doing some film studies together.
Oh, great! So you're going to do it again. You're going to do it.
Yeah, I always learn from Greg too. I got my hierarchy. Jason Sarney, Alf, and Greg are my 3 top guru sages. So
there you go. There you go.
The 3
hey, and I also want to make mention. There's another podcast that's actually going on, I think now. But if anybody's watching this podcast, go on over to the Finn Faithful podcast. George,
that's great. George is awesome.
George is great. Jason. They usually have Finn Sammy on there, and of
Sammy's
course
great
you.
too. I met him like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and then they've got you on there tonight. They have Dave Height. Dave
Nice.
Height. So they have him on the show
Oh
tonight.
man,
So
they're
you
lucky.
guys,
I love Dave. Dave's my guy, man. I love Dave.
he is too. I like him. Out of all the media guys, Dave is number one in my book.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
like
he's
him the
number one
best.
in my book. Yeah. But anyway, again, thanks, Curtis. And Curtis, tell us what you got going on. I know you just mentioned you got something going on with Greg, but what else you got going on over there at Ace Per Head?
Just before the season starts, I have Jason Sony on, Al from 3 Yards Per Carry, and Greg, and the usual crew. I'm trying to get my new game up. I'm gonna be doing a lot more film study this year. I've been getting my chops up, my workflow and stuff. So that's what it's gonna be for this. And soon, obviously, when the season starts, it's gonna be mayhem. So that's it. I got my podcast and all my stuff on YouTube. On the YouTube at Ace Per Head, Curtis. I'm not as good a marketer as you, but I'm working on it.
You're pretty good, man. You're pretty good. I must admit. But anyway, thanks again, Curtis, and
Thank
everybody that joined the chat tonight and came to the show and watched. Appreciate you. And till next time. Remember, Dolphins number 1, baby. Dolphins number 1.
Thanks, guys, for coming on.